Victor, what's happening?
I'm excited to be back, Ed.
I'm super stoked to be back.
Yeah, it's
Nice clothes, right?
right there. I got some Western gear, man.
So John Perone hooked him up. I see Maria Inez on there. She's on the call. I was up in New York this week, right?
Were
We'll
you?
talk about that
Okay.
in a minute, but I was up there and John hooked you up with the shirt.
Yeah,
I got
I
one of
appreciate
those.
that.
And I see my friend John Sutton. He gave me this shirt like a while. He was the first guy to step up.
Okay.
Fox was the first team to step up and give us some garb.
Who has not stepped up with gear?
Sayla,
Sayla.
Corey Horlacher.
Yeah, Corey.
Sayla. IFC, still waiting, you know.
Sad,
Clark
sad.
folks. Everybody else hooked us up, man.
Sayla is sad. That's what I'm going to call sad Sayla
It's
until we
crazy.
get some.
Speaking of gear,
All right, here we
how about
go.
that segue? You want to win one of these?
Nice one.
These are really cool. This is a Rollins.
I don't even
way.
have one of those.
No, you don't. You're not getting
Can
one.
I get that one after that? No.
You can get one. Here's how you can get one. It's truly that simple. You want one of these quarter zips? Really nice material. All you need to do is in the chat. You just need to post.
All you need to do.
All you need to do is post in the chat the winner of the NBA Finals and the winner of the Stanley Cup. That's all you have to do.
Oh.
There's 4 teams in each contest left. You got to put it in the chat. You got to pick both of them.
In the chat.
You got to pick both of them. If you get it right, if you get both teams right, you get one of these. We'll get
Yeah.
your size and you'll be off and running.
And by the way, if you don't know any of these teams, what you do is you wait for everybody else to post, and then you pick your 2 favorite ones and you just post that.
There you go.
Just so everybody get in the game.
I'm going with Cavs and Avs.
Cavs and Avs.
Cavs and Avs.
Antoine Landry says San Antonio Spurs and the Montreal Canadiens.
Those Spurs, man, they looked good last night. And I watched that Canadiens game last night. I hate hockey overtime, but man, that was exciting.
So there's an actual team. I know it's gonna sound bad. There's an actual team called Montreal Canadiens.
Oh my God, it's
They have like this identity crisis.
Sure.
Yes, we're Canadians and we're from Montreal.
John Perone would strike you down. We were talking about them last week, so he's pulling for them. And
All right.
yeah, so
Avalanche. You mentioned this. I can't believe a team would call themselves Avalanche. Because
Colorado, Rocky Mountains.
by the way, you think of an avalanche, it's devastation.
Well, they're coming. They're going to wipe through the Stanley Cup, maybe. I don't know. Stick to
All right,
carving wood.
Yeah,
what have you been doing lately?
That's about it.
Keep posting them up in there, and again,
posting,
if you get them both right, you're going to win.
New York Knicks, Oklahoma Thunder, another great name. Not. Anyway,
what are you
let me see. So May for me is slow.
Yeah.
And so I've just been working on with wood. You know, I do pens, obviously, but then I started expanding. My wife wanted to create a butler room, you know, with the washing machine and dryer. So I did it. I showed you the countertops.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah, I did some little caddies, some little carts. So I'm working with wood. It's really nice, Ed, to get away from the computer, not do anything on the computer.
Gotcha.
And working with wood. By the way, if you're a woodworker, let me know what you work on. Would love to know. I'm just getting started, and I'm making every mistake possible, but it's kind of fun trying to figure it out.
Yeah, the pens you make are really cool.
Thank you.
I mean, they're awesome. I mean, you've gifted me a couple of them, and they're pretty sweet.
Thank you, man. What have you been up to?
I had the experience of a lifetime last week. You know, I got up to see Maria Inez up in New York. Victor, I got up to go up to the New York Stock Exchange last week and be part of the folks that represented the 22,000 folks out there.
That looks so cool, Ed. I got to be honest. I was a little envious.
Oh,
yeah.
I think maybe Roxanne Gallego said it best. She said you know, you'd have to put it on the bucket list to take it off the bucket list.
Yeah,
Like,
that makes sense.
Never thought it would happen.
What was like the one thing that, you know, we've all seen the New York Stock Exchange, people ringing the bell. Like, what was the one thing that was kind of like, oh?
Like that podium? I mean, it's smaller than this room. You're just sitting out on a shelf.
Okay.
Like, and you step up there, you go up these
Oh, it's
steps,
not this massive
and
thing?
And there's this big green screen that they put Rollins up behind us on there. And I mean, you're just standing up there and you're looking out over the stock exchange. And it's way smaller than I thought. And the other thing that I took away was, you know, my vision of Wall Street, or the stock exchange was all this crazy, noisy stuff.
Right.
It's all quiet now because these dudes are all just hammering stuff out on their computer.
Interesting.
I mean, there's no trading screen. My vision of it was tape everywhere, you know, just nuts.
Like a Wolf of Wall Street stuff, something like that.
None of that. It was
nobody
super cool.
Nobody, give me that, give me 5, give it. You know,
None of that.
Nobody cutting deals like that. Okay.
It was like it was quiet in there, other than, you know, they had some music playing, but no, I think the coolest part about it though was hearing the stories that our leaders told. And I'll start with Jerry, because I mean that was really impressive, and you need to see it, you need to hear it. All that stuff is out on Rollins One. We've got it available for them. They can pull it up and watch it. But just the way that Jerry talked about it, and then, you know, just about the vision that he has for the company, and, you know, as I've shared with these folks, he's the sole reason I'm still here, right? I mean, the only reason I'm still here. I mean, other than the 22,000 other folks,
right.
He's the main contributor to my interest in he got my spidey senses up. I couldn't leave, right? When I first saw him talk about it. But then Ken Krause, our CFO, is just like masterful with these folks, right? I was scared to death that somebody's going to ask me a question that I didn't know, but they coached us on how to do all that. But the piece I want to share with these folks the most is the part that Stanford Phillips did. So Jerry got up, Ken got up, and then a couple other folks got up, and I had the opportunity to participate in a panel with a couple guys I'll mention in a minute. But Stanford Phillips' message that he delivered to Wall Street, to the investors, was spectacular. I mean, like goosebumpy kind of stuff, right? He talked about how when his grandfather started the company, at 75 years old, and they wanted to sell it.
Did he started at 75?
At 75 years old, and it started in Northwest Atlanta here. Wow! But the story about when they put it on the market, when they decided they wanted to get out of it, certainly they wanted to get paid, right?
Sure.
No doubt.
Sure.
But they were more concerned about what was going to happen to their people and their leaders and the culture that they had developed. And that's why they selected us. And you hear that and you see that from all the other brands, right? And I remember years ago, my wife would say, why don't we organize all those things? Why don't you make them all organ and chop them up? Like when you make acquisitions, typically that you think about Wall Street, you think about them, firing people and thinning the herd.
Right.
But we didn't do that. And their main objective, obviously they wanted to get paid.
Right.
But they wanted to make sure that their people were taken care of and their leadership was taken care of.
That makes sense.
And you see that across all these brands that Rollins has bought.
That's so
I mean,
smart.
when you click down the list, you look at Saela, you look at Clark, you look at Western even, one of the oldest acquisitions. We didn't mess with who was in place. Yeah. And Stanford makes the statement that, goosebumpy stuff, man.
Yeah.
So you got to see it if you haven't seen it, because he's talking about you. And now what we have become is the acquirer of choice for people that are in the market. People that give a damn, I'll say it that way, about their people and the business that they built, that it won't get wrecked by some private equity group coming in and just stripping it out and trying to find the profit out of it. So
wow, that's a big statement, by the way. Acquisition of choice, where companies look for you to acquire them. That says a lot about the leadership. Yeah, I'm not trying to suck up to the leadership. I'll say that, but that says a lot, because usually companies bring them in and you say they make them part of the Borg. Yeah. Ooh, a Star Trek reference, right? So they make them part of the Borg, which they don't do. Yeah. They let them be who they are, because that's how they became successful. Yeah,
and even Jerry, right? Jerry started out his talk. He said, I'm part of an acquisition. I'm the CEO of Rollins today. He said, but I was part of an acquisition. Interesting. So the Wall Street folks they love that model that we have. Right. We keep these brands in their market where they've got reputation, they've got culture, they've just got this strong stuff, right?
Well, they built this equity, so why destroy the equity?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a great story. You got to see it. We're going to try to chop it down. I'm going to try to get it chopped down a little bit.
So when Stanford Phillips talks, does he use like a pipe with a smoking jacket? Hello, my name is Stanford Phillips. Today we'll talk about the acquisition.
He's paying your bill, so you get your ass fired. You start talking like that.
Let's edit that part out.
Yeah, we're gonna have to edit that, but we don't edit this as they will know. And we only got one take on this. Residentially, we got two takes. This is it, man. This is going out on YouTube. No, so great. So no, just a great experience, and it was curious about the questions that came out from the investment group. So you sit up there, and I had the opportunity, like I said earlier, to participate in a panel where Ken, brought myself, Jamie Holyoke, Mitch Smith, and Jeff Dunn up, and just kind of questioned us. He hit me on the ancillary stuff and how we can expand that, and talked to Jamie, and had specific questions. But the real one of the big thrusts.
So tricky, right? So tricky.
Oh yeah. Trying to say the right things and know the right things, know what not to say. Right. But the emphasis on ancillary is what really has caught their attention, certainly on the residential side. But more importantly, Scott Weaver did a presentation on Orkin Commercial and talked about their expansion of ancillary, all these service lines. Ken has forever led with some of our investment calls, the quarterly calls that they make, with Wall Street, about talking about, the 9 shots on goal that residential gives them with ancillary. Well, now they're talking 10 shots on goal commercially. Nice. We look at a house and, old Orkin guy, old knuckle dragging termite salesman says, well, we can sell 10, 15 different services. Right. Now that lens, particularly for these folks commercially, has changed. And I think there's more products and services that we can sell commercially than we can sell in residential situations. So they're looking for that. There's been a great expansion in that, and all these folks are out there doing really good on adding all these additional service lines, the exclusions, and all those kind of things. So Wall Street's looking for that. They're paying attention. They're looking at us as that separator.
I love that. Because a lot of these new companies, again, more products to sell, more reasons to go back, more reasons to grow the revenue.
And the interaction between the brands was super cool. You know, Jamie talked about making phone calls for home team and just kind of the bringing these folks together. And I think that's what Stanford's so magical about.
Yeah.
You know, he brings all these guys in. These are high-powered, you know, company presidents, right? That are big shots, right? But he has them working in such a cohesive way.
Right.
You know, even
But
working,
that fits with the Orkin way, because you know, as when we worked with Orkin, you know, one of the things you would constantly hear is salespeople talking about, especially new salespeople, is that they can call people, and people were very open to taking the call and helping them out, and that collaboration is wonderful for growing.
But yeah, it just again, I mean, just thanks. I mean, it was experience of a lifetime, and I got a chance.
That had to be so cool.
Yeah, it was something else, but other than that, you know, that's been about it for me.
Nice. Well done.
I started a LinkedIn post, right? I've been on LinkedIn since 2008, so help me out, please. I never did anything until like last week. I never posted on it. I signed up for it, and I've been pounding people my entire career, particularly our commercial salespeople, that they got to be engaged in it, and I never made a post.
Right.
You know, I creeped once in a while, so I wasn't good at it. So, you know, my 67-year-old brain says, you know what, you better get busy with that. So I'm making all kinds of mistakes and errors. But show a little love.
Go to Ed Don and do
just
on
say
LinkedIn.
hello. Yeah, connect yourself. I ran out of connections, so I was trying to just go through the people I knew and asking for connections, and I got shut down because I asked too many people to join.
Too much.
But again, I think it's a great tool, and I'm going to figure out how to use it. So obviously, some of these folks are expert at it.
Yeah,
and
you'll get good at it.
I'm
sure.
playing catch up.
I look forward to some of your micro blogs or articles.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think it'll be good.
Yeah.
So anyway.
But no, other than that,
not much. Who's out there?
Yeah, who we got out there? There's Mr. Sutton. I got a question. I see a Mike Finkel. Should I read something into that, John? Is that the right guy? Did you bring him back?
John gave you the thumbs up.
Mike Finkel, put your camera on. Or you got a big old beard and I wouldn't recognize you.
Who's Mike Finkel?
Mike Finkel isn't.
Let me see.
Dude, I knew a long time ago.
Well, let me see. Is that Frank?
I'm so happy he's back.
Giamico. Is that Frank Giamico? Did I get that right, Frank?
Frank's our Clark guy, man.
Is he?
Yeah.
He's our Clark guy.
Yeah. He gave you that fancy pullover.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Oh, it'd be nice to
Frank. Good with Frank then. We're good with Frank. How about E. Howell?
Yeah.
Doesn't even take time to include his first name. Come on, man. Put your name in there. You can type it out.
Sean Dale, I appreciate your notes, man. I appreciate you encouraging me, brother.
I like the pictures in the back.
Who else you see there?
I see some Clark guy chewing something in the car. What is he doing? What is that guy doing? There you go. You can know what I'm talking about.
John Perone's on here. He runs the New York City.
Who is John Perone?
He runs the New York City commercial branch. He's responsible for that shirt you're wearing. So
my man, John.
He also turned into last week. You know, he lives in New York, right?
Right.
And so Gary Hubbard and I, we wanted to hang our hat somewhere in the morning before we went over to Wall Street for this shindig.
You're in
right?
New York, yeah.
So we went to his branch, and that's where we saw Maria Inez and his group. So we had a sales meeting the morning before that. It was just so cool. And John was if this gig fails, him being in pest control, he's going to be a great Uber driver. He hauled Hubbard and I around New York City. So
nicely done.
Couple of Midwestern knuckleheads. But John, thanks for that, man. I appreciate it.
David Hubbard looking bored. We'll try to get more exciting, David. We'll do our best here. You know, who else is out there? We got
some iPad people.
Celia Roberts just does not want to be on camera. She's like, here's my picture. I'm awesome. Here's who I am.
Amen.
Check me out. Here's my portrait.
Amen.
Gotcha. Chris just popped on. Weppert. Did I get that right, Chris?
Yeah, he runs that whole Waltham show up there, man.
Yeah, he's got the corporate thing going on behind him. He's classy.
Drew Perkins. Kevin Wells. What's happening, Kevin Wells?
Wait a minute. How you doing, man? CJ Nakamura. You know I just wanted to say that, right, CJ? CJ,
Absolutely.
Do you speak Japanese by any chance? I'm just asking. No? Oh, man, I was ready to try my Japanese on you. Come on, CJ. I was going to go. I was ready to go konnichiwa, otashiwa.
Let's get going.
Okay.
It's let's talk some numbers because the numbers are pretty good, right?
That's what I want to hear.
Numbers are pretty good.
What I want to hear.
Yeah, we shared them with the residential folks this morning, so let's just jump right in. Right. Revenue numbers for the month of April were just spectacular for the Rollins U.S. brands. Residential pest control, $87 million, a 14% year-over-year increase. The commercial, most of these folks are focused on commercial. $48 million, a 9.7% year-over-year increase.
Nice, let's call that 10.
We're going double digit. We're going to round up. Our CFO wouldn't like that, but we just rounded that number up. I got some new rules on CFO. I got some CFO talk last week. He said, you can't be saying some of that stuff you say on these broadcasts. Termite sales.
Pull that Victor guy back.
Termite sales for the month of April, $28 million. 13% increase.
Nice.
This is just a crazy good story, folks. Roll it all together for April. Out of the brands, $163 million with the 12% year-over-year increase.
You just have to kind of register in your brain, right? Like $163 million in a month.
In a month. And a 12% year-over-year increase.
You guys are awesome.
Year to date, the story kind of is the same, obviously. $303 million for a 14% increase residentially. $103 million, 15% increase in termite. These folks at $175 million in the Rollins brands in commercial sales, 9.7% year-over-year increase.
Sick. Sick
Roll
numbers.
it all together, 4 months, $500 million in revenue coming out. Half a billion.
That's a B.
For a 12.7%.
Everybody
year-over-year
gets a raise.
increase.
Oh, can I say that? I can't say that. Oh, sorry. Taking that back. Nobody gets a raise.
You can't do
sorry.
that. You can't do
I got
that.
too emotional. Sorry.
And then we can't really talk about profit. I learned that lesson this week too.
Can't talk about it.
But it just suffice to say, it's been a strong 4 months for the Rollins brands.
Nice.
And we'll just leave it at that.
Matt Casey said, he said it. Exclamation point.
He said it.
Everybody gets a raise. He said it.
Oh, yeah. That's crazy.
By the way, Johnson says, we love having Mike back.
Mike
and he is
says,
back with Western and
I'm
kicking
back.
butt
Man,
in the Maryland, D.C. area.
I'm super happy about that.
All right.
That makes
Mike Finkel.
that makes my heart feel warm. What do you say? Like, I'm embarrassed. So Victor told me today, he said, I can't talk like you with all those email messages you send because you do all that fuzzy stuff. So
You all that soft stuff.
All that soft stuff.
You're like a teddy bear when you talk in your little emails and you write something
Thanks,
out.
Victor.
You're very.
I look like a teddy bear. Right? Really
you're
nice. I appreciate
I love
that.
everybody.
In addition to those terrific company numbers, we got a bunch of really strong, solid individual performances. So we should roll the tape.
Do it. Great numbers, great numbers.
Crazy
But
good.
wait, I something's bothering me.
What's going on in that whack?
Wait, I just got, before we move, go on. And so I'm looking at this Mike Finkel. And do you remember the movie Pet Detective? Who's the guy that stole the dolphin? Remember the dolphin? They stole the dolphin and the pet detective had to find the dolphin? What's his name? Mike Finkel.
I know it was Finkel because I can tell you this.
It was Ray. Liz got it. It was Ray Finkel. Oh, okay.
But Mike Finkel, we had
he reminded me of the guy who stole the dolphin.
We had an RSM meeting years ago when he was with Orkin and I was with Orkin still. And he has that, you have that Dolphins jersey. Maybe he's got to post a picture of it, but he has a Finkel jersey.
That's a funny, man.
All right, so why did
By the way, Liz was on it, though. Liz was
you have a bad mind.
Yeah.
Oh, laces out, Dan.
Laces out. Anyway, great numbers.
Yeah, let's talk about the people that really rang the bell.
Let's talk about the people that matter.
Look at those.
Let's go.
Look at those old Canada folks. They got to be cheering for those Canadians, right?
Yes,
for sure.
Nadia, we've seen Nadia.
Oh, Nadia's clocking. She's been there every month, man.
Man, she almost broke 200,000.
She's crazy.
Get on the ball, Nadia. You should have had 200.
Like all the way over through Canada.
Look at that. Great numbers. Gordon Granger.
Look at those.
Man.
Look at those IWOW numbers. Mark Wadsworth with IFC, 193,000.
Yeah, that's
crazy.
Nice. Mr.
Mr. Bloom out of Western, just nuts.
Great numbers.
Just crazy going down that list. And you sneak over to the Fox guys. They're new in the commercial end of it.
Okay.
You know, they just kind of John just stood that group up.
All right.
But man, they're getting after it.
Spinning it up.
Getting after it.
I don't want to talk about Sailor since we didn't get any swag. Let's just skip over.
No,
that.
we can't. Guillermo's on the call.
Guillermo's on the call.
He'll get real mad at me if I don't say
nothing
nothing to him.
bosses. Get on you with your bosses already.
Yeah.
Guillermo's been on there like consistently.
Every month.
He's cranking.
I think he won like. Sailor does a really good job on their LinkedIn about posting like Employee of the Month.
Right.
They do a really good job of recognizing their people. And I believe Guillermo was like the Employee of the Month last month.
Oh, was it?
So yeah, you got a picture. So outstanding.
Guillermo.
And then Frank's team out there, they had a couple folks in the 6 digits, right? Look at Marcos Hernandez.
Marcos Hernandez.
Woo!
Killing it. 112.
Peter,
and then
101.
Peter Gasca, over 100,000. Victor Estevez. Come on, Victor. Get it over 100. Come on, man.
My friend Robert Tidwell, I spent some, I had dinner with him at President's Club. It was really cool, him and his wife. So that was cool. And then, not last, but least, but just, I guess, in alphabetical. Northwest with Drew Perkins with 86,000. All the way down there. There's Blake. I think Blake's on the call. Blake throwing in 63. And then Jerry Hall, just the perennial, just kicks tail. I think he's 3 or 4 President's Clubs in. And he's with the McCall arm of Northwest down there in Florida. He's like a goat down there, man. The dude just kills it.
Is he?
Yeah.
What was the year-over-year number again? Total?
Commercial?
No, yeah, for commercial.
9.7. 9.7.
What was total revenue though? For this so far? Because you were saying $500 million, so they were at about 400 something maybe last.
Well, no. The total. So the commercial is 175 million.
Right.
With that 9.7% increase. So yeah, it's just crazy.
That's double digits.
When you do the math on that, I did the math on the increase of the commissions, right? And I just used a simple 10%.
Yeah.
I mean, these folks are making a lot more money than they did last year.
Okay.
When you run a 12% increase, right?
Nice.
I mean, just nuts. So, no, congratulations to all the top performers. Just really outstanding. I thought today, kind of based on what happened at Wall Street and kind of what the chatter was on the floor, and even the questions that came from the investor group when you went on break. Like when you went on break, they didn't attack you, but they came looking for you, right? And they want to know, can you continue this ancillary growth? Is this real? Is this scalable? Is this, is that,
Did you feel like the sharks were hunting you? Like they were coming through the wall just looking for information?
And Ken had coached us on what we could say and shouldn't say, right? Not some of it was common sense, but some of it I had to have that reminder. But he said they'll play fair. They won't ask you for something that they know they're not allowed to ask. Like they didn't ask about April results or didn't ask how that was going. They knew the first quarter results. So what was cool about it is there was a lot of talk about ancillary. There was a lot of talk about the growth in commercial and is that continually scalable, right? Because we had a great run and obviously the answers were all pretty simple. I think from my seat coming over here to the brands, in the short time I've been here, kind of mixing and mingling with these folks for 4.5 months, that this thing is just, I mean, they're just scratching the surface. What Sutton and that crew's doing up there, being brand new, what Frank and all these folks are doing, and really Sailor just getting into the commercial game, and Western continue to clock it. I mean it and the Waltham team getting after it. I'm on their group me's and their teams chats, and it just. Are
you feeling it?
Yeah,
Are you feeling
and
that
that's
surge?
you know what I mean. I'm a gut guy. I'm a feel guy, and man, it just feels great.
Is there some reminiscent feelings from Orkin when it kind of started like taking off? You know what I mean?
100%.
Are you getting the same?
And a guy asked me that. He said, "Is this still similar to before when you were at Orkin?" Yeah, because they knew Jerry made it clear that I was at Orkin for the last 12 years as the VP over there. And I even told a couple of them, I feel better today about what this team can accomplish. I certainly love my working folks, but this is so supercharged from the ground up and the groundswell coming from the leadership. Yeah. What amazed me about it is these guys genuinely like each other. Like Mitch and Jamie were they were inseparable. They were, you talk about those movies. What's that, Big Brother? Best, I don't know, but I mean, they really enjoy each other's company and they get after it.
Nice.
They have a hell of a lot of fun while they're doing it, but no,
as they should.
I think it's good. But no, based on that and all the talk about ancillary, I wanted to talk about really kind of what you became almost legendary with the Orkin team about triple cheeseburgers and selling options.
Right.
And looking at these folks in the mode that they're in the takeaway business for the most part.
Right.
They typically, if they're going out and getting some business, they already have somebody, right? It's not like they're going out to Mrs. Jones' house because she got termites for the first time ever and she's lived there for 25 years.
Right.
It's something where typically they're going into, knock somebody out, takeaway business. And oftentimes we could have a hesitancy to do the bundling, but talk about the options and the importance of option selling, because that is kind of the hashtag that a lot of our working folks that were exposed to you for the last 12 years really fall back on. They always talk about triple cheeseburgers. So I'm going to give it to you for a little bit.
All right, let's talk triple cheeseburger. So I have a podcast called the Sales Influence Podcast. The subtitle is Finding the Why in How People Buy. I've been interested in buyer psychology. When I started doing sales training, I didn't want to teach people how to sell. I wanted to teach people how buyers actually buy, because once you understand the decision-making process, it's like you can sell more effectively. So one of the things I always teach is something about options. For example, if I present one option, it's very binary, yes or no, right? They're either going to buy or not buy. Now, I always use the hamburger as offering two options. So let me ask you a question. If I offered you a single burger, and then I often offered you a double stacked burger, 2 patties, right? Which one do you think most people would choose, the small one or the big one? So in the chat, put S for small, B for the big one, all right? So two offers, two options here. Got a small one, and I got a double cheese, bigger one. The majority of people would buy which one? Frank's just throwing some bacon.
Throw some bacon on it.
There was no need to add anything else to that, but he says, all right, somebody put A. Whoever put A, please kick yourself off the podcast here right now, this broadcast. So if you chose the small one, you're absolutely right. Here's why. Your brain, your primal brain, that amygdala, back here is a risk mitigating machine. What does that mean? The human brain wants to mitigate risk at all times, always flee to safety. So when two options are presented and they're not sure, they don't know you, you're not a recognized brand, the majority of people, 80% more or less, will go with the small one, right? Choose small because it's safest. Now, so only 20% buy the big one. So how could I get you to buy the double burger, right? Do I sell you the features? Do I sell you the benefits of buying a double stack burger? Or do I sell the gain, the advantage? No. What you do is you add a third burger. 3 layers, right? 3 patties. So now I got a small, medium, and a triple. The majority of people would buy which one? The middle one. The question is why? It mitigates risk. It's almost like the Goldilocks effect, right? Too hot, too cold, just right. Bed. Too hard, too soft, just right. If you look at 3 options, the majority of people, 80% will migrate to the middle, right? The majority will migrate to the middle. Now, what does that mean for you? So when we're bundling, keep that in mind, that you want to put your prime option, what you really want them to buy, I always say, in the middle, and then flank them with 2 other options, one above, one below. And you'll see them move towards the middle. Now, the reason this is important is that once they move towards the middle, people like to have options because they like to feel like they have some control. But again, when you offer that middle option, and by the way, let me side note, if you don't believe me, go to Wendy's, go to Burger King, go to Starbucks, and you'll see 3 options for the same reason. And the majority of profit's always with the medium option. Now, Ed, make that Rollins for me.
Yeah, before I do that, I want to give 2 examples, right? So the Wendy's story is real. Like, I used to go on the QBRs with Wendy's. Yeah. Wendy's was a big account with working, and I said a little grace over that, and over the national accounts for 12 years. And going in there, I asked the one dude from marketing who was there like when Dave Thomas started it. I said, what? This sales guy down here in Atlanta is telling me you guys have created the triple burger to sell doubles. He said, that's absolutely fact. Yeah. Absolutely fact. And he brought the marketing guy in to explain it. And it's exact explanation. But I'll take it even a step further. So you get invited to a holiday party, right? And they say, bring a bottle of wine. Well, I don't know squat about wine. Right. I know wine like sports. Right. And so.
Oh, that was a good swipe. That was a good swipe. But well done.
If I'm invited and they say bring a bottle of wine, bring a bottle of cab, I go in. There's 10, 20, and 30. Right. Well, I'm not going to go 10 because I'm not going to be too cheap. Right. I'm sure as hell not going 30 because I'm not drinking it, right? Yeah. Now, if it was an IPA, I'd go all the way in, right? Right. So I mitigate the risk. Right. I'm not going to be a cheapskate, but I'm not going to overspend. So I lean right into the 20. So think about how you make decisions in your life on purchases that you make, and I think that comes into play here.
Yeah, and so tie it back to when we're positioning, how would you use that?
Yeah, and when I think about it, I mean, ultimately, we never want to just sell them commercial pest control, right? I mean, if you do that, you're doing them a disservice, right? But oftentimes you get a lead or you work your tail off to crack that door open, right? And they got somebody else and they say, okay, come on in, John, you can come in, you can look around, you can kick the tires and do all that kind of stuff. I think sometimes as salespeople, we're hesitant to pitch the options because we think, well, I'll just go get that general pest control right now. Yeah. I'll circle around for the flies because it's not fly season just yet.
Right.
But we do ourselves a disservice when we do that because now we're just competing against GPC versus GPC, and we're going to be more money. All these companies are going to charge more money than Terminix, right? Let's just cut to the chase. So they're all going to charge more. So we get into that mindset. We're afraid to ask for all of it. And I think when you ask for all of it, you put the small fly, put the large fly, put some exclusion. Give them a solution. Give them give them the solution to the problem.
Correct.
Not just the Band-Aid that gets you in the door. Because if you that Band-Aid getting you in the door will get you kicked out the door just like it's getting them kicked out the door, right? So, I mean, I think that's part of the piece.
I was going to add, you just triggered me. There was this one study, I'm trying to refer to it, that talked about the more products I sell you, it's almost like the more hooks I have into you, and the less likely you are to churn in the future. So there's another way to think about it.
That was a big piece of what Ken presented last week, was that, we get 2-3 services in with these customers, be it residential or commercial, that they're stickier. They're just flat stickier.
Right. And then sometimes the logic is, let's get and there's something called the foot in the door strategy. Let's get our foot in the door with this one product. The problem is, you've pointed out many times, is that, well, if you just go in with one product, the competitor can match that one product. And from a customer's perspective, that's all you're really offering. So to your point, offer the whole solution.
Well, and I think particularly commercially, right? If you go in there and you just put that one product in, you just get the GPC in, it might be okay today.
Right.
But 2 months from now, when those small flies are popping and those large flies are popping, that customer's going to say, why the hell didn't you protect me for that?
Yes.
And now they're mad. Instead of serving it all up at front, putting 5 or 6 solutions up there and saying, here's the package, Bubba. This is how I think that's how we separate ourselves from the competitors. Not because we can't do it on price.
Right.
We're not going to do it. And you can't do it on your smiling face. So instead of going in there and saying, you're trying to sell $20 difference, I would rather pitch a $500 a month service than try to compete $75 to $100.
Correct.
Right? Let me show you how to fix all this at once. I'm not going to nickel dime you.
Right.
And you put it all out there. And I love your piece with the felt pen. You push it across, and they say, which one do you want me to take out?
Take out what you don't want, and we'll recalculate the price.
And you know what happens oftentimes, as these folks know, these are some killer salespeople. They take it all because they see that vision, they see your passion, they see how you did it, and they understand that you're offering a total solution versus just trying to be the pest control guy.
And I think you're just trying to, again, it feels safer to offer that one option, right? But again, I would do it this way. I would offer the one option. I said, we can just sell you that. But, which negates the first part, here's what's going to happen if you don't add these services. And as you pointed out, and then you're going to yell at me 5 months from now, but ... And at that point, they're also thinking, I would think, why didn't the other guy tell me that? Why did the competitor tell me that?
100%.
Yeah.
And you just jogged my mind, too, on mosquito. If you're making a proposal today, or tomorrow, or anytime moving forward, and you don't have a mosquito service bundled in there, you're not doing the right job for the customer. Let them tell you they don't want it yet, right? It's not time for mosquitoes yet. But putting all those packages together, I think, allows you to create more separation than you will. Again, you're in the takeaway business. I understand that. But we get apprehensive. Yeah. We get apprehensive thinking we're just going to get that one. And I'm putting my hand up as the guy guilty of that, right? Yeah. I'll just go get that, and it blows up on you. And you think about, I love.
We've all been there, by the way. We've all been there. We've all been there.
Flies this time of year. You're putting the poor technician in the jackpot. If you don't sell them fly service now, because the problem will get bad. Then he'll have to do reactive treatments instead of preventative treatments. Right. And now it's a pain in the tail. The customers are complaining. They're whining. They're bitching. They're getting flies in their soup, or they're getting drain flies in. They're getting flies in their wine at night. Yeah. And it's all preventable if you address it up front.
And again, why didn't you tell me? Yeah. If you didn't offer it.
I think they've all been there. I don't know anybody else.
I like Steve Abadi, if I got that right. Yeah. Offer the Art of the Add-on. That's a great title for a book, by the way. The Art of the Add-on.
There you go.
That's a great title.
No, I don't know. Anything else on that? I mean,
no. Frank says be that pest management professional and offer the best comprehensive solution. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and ticks as well. Great point, Donovan. I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, the tick problem, particularly for you folks that are up in the Northeast. I mean, we were up there in the branch in New York, in Manhattan there, and they had a couple of ace, quality assurance dudes that were in there talking about ticks, and they were spewing stats on ticks in the Northeast, and it's like the worst year ever going to be, and. Get ahead of that,
And so even that, we've talked about this. I'll make the last point real quick. We often talked about insight, Remember, it's information beyond the obvious.
Yep.
And just things like that, like here's what's coming.
Yeah.
Here's what you need to start thinking about. That's what customers are really looking for.
And they look at you at a different lens.
Yes.
You're just not the pest control schlepper coming out there to take over the business for $2-3,
Yes.
right? And because they had to fire the other guy because they're getting fined by the city.
Well said.
And anything else in there? Anybody else in
That's
the chat?
it.
No, that's cool.
it.
Just a couple things, and then we will get out of here. Obviously, if you get last chance to get your name in on that thing. They're doing a cool thing, and this is an example. It's a residential example, but it's an example of these brands coming together. So tomorrow, the team from Sela is taking their folks.
Sela. Those
the
guys.
ones that didn't give us any clothes yet.
Yeah.
They're taking their team,
Okay.
and they're going out to California to hang out with the Clark folks. And they are going to execute on a mosquito program. Basically, Victor, how can I protect your? Would you like me to protect your family and your pets against mosquitoes this season? And that's the close, and that they're going to bull in the ring it. They're going to grind it out.
Right.
And I've watched Corey Horlacher, who's kind of the sales leader out there, and Mitch Smith do this in the South Central Division in Orkin, and they just lit the world on fire. What's going to happen tomorrow out there with those two great cultures and those two great brands and those two great set of people coming together? They're going to blow the freaking roof off mosquito sales in California. And it's so exciting to see. That's the interaction with these brands working together.
How did that come about?
I don't. Mitch kind of says some grace over Clark a little bit.
Maybe
I
somebody
think.
mentioned it.
Yeah,
but that's great to see two brands working
again,
to help each other out.
These guys are like super friendly with each other. So you'll see. And I know that the folks in Iowa are always working together. I know John's always working with the team. John's really good. John Sutton, who's heading up the Fox thing, is really good with trying to get the business for the other folks that are outside his territory.
Nice.
So this, like I said, it just feels really, really good.
Ah,
I don't know anything else other than it's hot as Hades out there. It's like 95 degrees down here in Atlanta. Hydrate your techs. If you're showing up at a start or you're bumping into a technician, you bring them a drink. Do something. Do something
Bring
nice.
a
Make
squirt
yourself
gun.
different for them.
Shoot it with water.
What's that? Get a squirt gun and shoot them with water. There you go.
Hydrate
And
myself.
while it's a residential focus session tonight that Victor's doing, it might be worth checking out for 30 minutes. Talk about sales after dark. He did this during COVID, and I'll be on it tonight, but go ahead and tell me a little bit about it.
I have a program. I started this during COVID, and I stopped for a while. It's called Sales After Dark. I used to go on 3 times a week, nightly. So I'm bringing it back. So tonight, Sales After Dark, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. The topic is the in-home sales flow, which is the process of from the greeting to the close. What are the 9 steps? What should you be doing? If you got time, check it out. You can get it on. You can see it on YouTube, LinkedIn, and I believe Facebook/Instagram.
Yeah, and while I know the content. I mean, there will be pieces in there for our commercial sellers as well that make sense.
Yep,
absolutely. Anything else?
That's it.
No, I mean, I just got to tell you, I appreciate the hell out of what you all are doing out there. It's super exciting to be here, and I appreciate the opportunity to represent you all last week. It was truly a once in a lifetime experience. Thank you for everything that you do.
Thank you, guys. Have a great week.
See you.